Hello friends, and welcome to another Nostalgia Talk bonus. So today's topic is favorite Sesame Street songs, and I'm sure that you've all got one, maybe even more than one. In a show spanning 50 plus years, there are so many classic Sesame Street songs that have remained in our memories as watchers of the show over the years. Rubber Ducky, Sing, Bein' Green, C's for Cookie, what else? Doing the Pigeon, People in the Neighborhood, and the list goes on and on and on. I honestly could do this whole video about every Sesame Street song that there is, but that would take up so much phone storage, so I'm gonna keep this short but sweet. I wasn't actually sure how I was going to do this video, so I looked back at some of my favorite Sesame Street songs, and I realized that a lot of them are very soft sounding. Like they have a very soft kind of melody, very beautiful sounding melody, and I thought a lot of these, you know, they're like lullabies. They could easily help you fall asleep. So what I did was I thought about some of my favorite Sesame Street songs, and I wrote down a list. Again, I'm not ranking them. This is just, you know, me talking about some of my favorites. This isn't a countdown. This isn't best to worst. But these are 10 of my favorite Sesame Street bedtime songs. Number 1, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon, which goes without saying. As I've said before on Nostalgia Talk, that one, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon, is my very favorite Sesame Street song. Jim Henson sang it so beautifully, and if some of you guys don't know that song, because oh my god, listen to it. It's such a lovely song, but it's basically Ernie singing about being interested in visiting places, such as the moon, perhaps, but at the same time, it wouldn't feel very much like home. So he wouldn't really want to live there because he feels like he would miss everyone that he was close with and everything that he was close with. And he doesn't just end with the moon. He also sings about living under the sea with fish. I remember the line, I could stay for a day there if I had my wish, but there's not much to do when your friends are all fish, and an oyster and clam aren't real family. It would be kind of interesting to visit the moon, I will say, and also at the same time, you know, hang out with the fish. That would be really cool, and hopefully Ernie would get a nature documentary about that. But yeah, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon, my very favorite Sesame Street song. So beautiful. There was actually another version of that song that Ernie sang on Sesame Street alongside of Aaron Neville from the R&B group The Neville Brothers, and Aaron Neville did a good job singing that song as well. Such a beautiful song, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon. Number 2, What a Gift. I'm not sure if some of you would be familiar with this song, but What a Gift was sung by Big Bird, and it's probably Carol Spinney's greatest singing performance. There were a series of episodes of Sesame Street where the cast was visiting Montana, and this song was actually from one of those episodes. Big Bird had stumbled upon these people who were throwing things into the water, and he's like, what are you doing? And it wasn't trash. They weren't throwing garbage into the water. They were saying, we're thanking the water for everything it's done for us. Everything in nature is a gift. And that really sticks with Big Bird, so he goes around the field or wherever it's like near a creek, but it's on a field pretty much. I'll just say field. And he thanks everything that's around him. A horse even, and he says, I know never to harm you because now I know what to do. And he basically sings a lovely song about respecting nature. This particular song actually makes me cry. I have a copy of the VHS tape Sing Along Earth Songs. I'm actually looking at it right over there. And What a Gift is on that tape. Somebody actually posted to Facebook a picture of Big Bird singing this, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a lovely song. So I shared it on my page, and I said, this is one of the loveliest Sesame Street songs that there is. It was Big Bird singing a beautiful song about respecting nature, and I even put in the lyrics, there for you, there for me, there for everyone, they're a gift. And you can probably see that I'm nearly welling up just thinking about it. Oh man. Number 3, I Wonder. Very similar to I Don't Want to Live on the Moon. This one was also sung by Ernie, and Ernie was singing about wondering about all sorts of things in the world. It's almost very similar to the last one, What a Gift, as well. You could combine both of those, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon and What a Gift, together, and you'd have this. And the next one I'm going to bring up, by the way, but I'll finish talking about I Wonder first. Ernie sees a falling star at night, and he starts singing, why does the falling star fall, and what makes that happen? And then he sings, what makes a bumblebee fly? How does he fly, covered in fuzz, and why does he sound like that? And then there's a line, how does the bunny hop, hop, hop? And what makes popcorn pop, pop, pop? That is another very lovely Sesame Street song. And I also should point out that the lyrics were written by one of my writing idols, Molly Boylan. And Molly is an incredible writer for Sesame Street. A lot of the stuff that she's written is really, really well done. And the composer was somebody who Paul Rudolph mentioned, and I hope I'm saying the name right, Adam Schlesinger from the band Fountains of Wayne. And Adam passed away last year as a result of COVID-19. And he also wrote a song that I really like, Just the Girl by the Click Five. Anybody remember the Click Five? 'Cause she's bittersweet, she knocks me off of my feet, and I can't help myself, I don't want anyone else. She's a mystery, she's too much for me, but I keep coming back for more. She's just the girl I'm looking for. Sorry, I really love that song, can you tell? Number 4, I Wonder About the World Above Up There. Not to be confused with the last song I mentioned, I Wonder. This one was sung by Kermit, actually, and it's almost very similar to most of these. In the segment for this, he's with a group of Muppets who are looking at all the things below them, like on the ground. And Kermit says, well, why don't we ever think about the stuff that's above? All we have to do is look up. And they sing about clouds and stars, and they see people doing their jobs, like they see a man on a telephone wire, birds. Oh man, what a lovely song. And actually, as I was saying to Noel McNeil, this song was one of the last performances for Sesame Street that Jim Henson did as Kermit. It was shot on his very last day on the set. And honestly, thinking about that and how beautiful this song is actually makes me cry as well. Jim was an incredible performer and a pro, just such a talent. He was brilliant as a creator, as a performer. He's one of my idols, and honestly, one of the reasons that I'm talking about this now is because of the great Jim Henson. Such a lovely performance by Jim Henson, and he was such a great singer on a lot of these as well. Number 5, A Little Grouch Music. With a name like that, it's pretty obvious who sings this. This was sung by Oscar the Grouch. There actually was a song before this called A Grouch's Lullaby that was a little bit off-key. Well, sounded off-key in Oscar's universe, at least. I guess that was the point, because Oscar's a Grouch. This one was not. One of my very favorite episodes of Sesame Street involved Hoots the Owl talking about Sesame Street at night. He was showing the viewer what was going on Sesame Street when it was nighttime, because owls are up all night. And so in this particular one, he's listening to sounds. Well, almost like Kermit in the last song I was talking about, looking up. This time around, Hoots was listening to sounds at night. And Oscar was listening as well. And Oscar was talking about the fact that he likes noise, because he's a Grouch, so he didn't mind the noises at night. But honestly, I hope Oscar got enough sleep. So Oscar sang this lovely song about noises at night. It's crazy, a song about noises at night actually was a really lovely sounding tune. This song actually was a parody of Music of the Night from the musical Phantom of the Opera. So I feel like my best friend Sean probably would really like this song as well, because if you saw the video I just did with her, she's a big fan of Phantom of the Opera. Number 6, What Do I Do When I'm Alone? This one was sung by Grover, and in the segment for this one, he comes into the frame and he says, I was just here all alone by myself. And then he says, oh, but that's okay. I can do all kinds of things when I'm alone by myself. And so he starts singing about what he can do when he's just kind of hanging out on his own. Maybe sing a song, wave to people going by, watch clouds, and then he says to the listener, you know, there are a lot of things you can do when you are alone. You can write yourself a little poem or throw a ball up against a wall. But sometimes I find it nicer to be with somebody else than all alone by myself. And he sings about the fact that maybe he wishes that he had someone with him. And then he looks at the camera and says to the listener or viewer, and I am not alone, and I am happy, because you are here with me. I had a copy of a CD that had that song on it, and I listened to it at night a lot, and it was really nice to listen to before I went to sleep. And I Don't Want to Live on the Moon was on that CD as well. Number 7, I Think That It Is Wonderful. This song was actually sung by a group of different Muppets. Ernie starts it off singing about looking at a star. Bert sings about listening to a bird. Cookie Monster sings about what else? Food. And in the segment, he's actually laying in bed, and he's got cookies with him. That's like his little teddy bear, I guess. He easily could be laying on a bed of cookies. Prairie Dawn sings about smelling a rose, and Harry Monster, my favorite character, Harry Monster, sings about cuddling up to his teddy bear. And they all kind of repeat their verses, and they kind of go, good night, faraway star. Good night, bird on a wing. Good night, delicious food. Good night, sweet-smelling rose. Good night, Teddy, my bear. And the song ends with Ernie singing one last time, good night, faraway star. Then it kind of zooms in on the star, and the star kind of zooms itself in like it's a star shape. And then it zooms in, and then the scene basically ends. But that's another very nice Sesame Street song. It's almost like What a Gift, and I Wonder About the World Above up there. And I wonder, honestly, a lot of these are very similar now that I think about it. This one was kind of about using your senses, you know, sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch to kind of notice everything around you. Not just hearing at them or looking at them, but actually taking time to stop and acknowledge them fully with your whole body. That's a really nice message. Number 8, Sleepytime on Sesame Street. This one was also from that episode where Hoots was talking about Sesame Street at nighttime. This one doesn't really have that soothing of a rhythm to it, but it's very jazzy. And I kind of like that. I feel like jazzy music can also be kind of calming, but it went something like, the sun's gone down in the west. People are getting some rest. Or, God, I'm probably messing that up. It's time for people to rest. It's so weird. One of my very favorite Sesame Street episodes that contained a really good song, and I'm talking about it on this, and I actually can't sing it. Oh, man. But it is actually a very catchy song. Hoots is kind of singing about, while everyone else is asleep on Sesame Street, he's awake. That's kind of an interesting lesson, because not all kids would know that owls are up all night and they sleep during the day. There actually was a moment in this particular episode in which Hoots was doing a version of The People in Your Neighborhood, and he was singing alongside of people who worked at night. There was a night watchman, a cop, a baker, a firefighter, and an actress. And in Sleepytime on Sesame Street, there's like footage of a lot of Sesame Street characters sleeping. Snuffy is having a doze. No honker is honking his nose. Oscar the Grouch is out on the couch 'cause it's sleepy time on Sesame Street. I made it that far. That's good. That's good enough for me. Number 9, Read Me a Story. This is another really good one that Big Bird sang. Big Bird is basically singing, read me a story, read me a rhyme, something that happened once upon a time. It's got a very nice little melody to it. And in the segment that I remember, Big Bird, Zoe actually, was saying that she likes it when someone reads to her. And she's like, but how do I ask someone to read me a story? And so Big Bird sings the song Read Me a Story. And then Maria comes in, and Zoe sings Read Me a Story to her. And so Maria reads to Big Bird and Zoe. It would be kind of nice if they reused the Sesame Street song in a new episode. Honestly, they could reuse a lot of these, but Read Me a Story, I can easily see being reused in a new Sesame Street episode. Number 10, Planets, Moon, and Stars. Ah, yeah, this is very nice as well. Elmo sings this one, and he's singing about looking at the planets and the moon and the stars at night with something like planets, moon, and stars above the world so high. And he's singing to his doll, Baby David, and there's a little dream sequence that Elmo has of him on a rocket going all around, you know, Earth and the moon and everything else that he's singing about. Earth is far below, Earth is where we are. And there was another version of this song that was animated and sung by Jerry Nelson, and he did a good job doing this as well. He also did another beautiful Sesame Street song called Moonshine. And there was also a song that Elmo sang called In Your Imagination. It wasn't Here in the Middle of Imagination, but went something like, it's incredible where you can go in your imagination. Da-na-na-na-na-na. The song Here in the Middle of Imagination was one that Ernie had sang. And I actually had an album as a kid, and Ernie had said to the Muppets, close your eyes. Now, what can you see with your eyes closed? And Oscar's there, you can't see anything with your eyes closed. And a lot of Muppets, like Bert and Big Bird, Prairie Dawn, Grover, and Herbert Birdsfoot, a character that I don't know if some of you would remember, but they were all saying that with their eyes closed, they can kind of just visualize something. So those are some of my favorite Sesame Street bedtime songs, some of the most loveliest and most beautiful Sesame Street songs that there are. Maybe I'll listen to some of these as I'm trying to go to sleep tonight. But I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully a lot of these Sesame Street songs are favorites of yours. Hopefully you agree with me that they're very calming. If you'd like to listen to any of them, just check them out in the description. And I'll see you soon. Peace!